Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. I want to share a testimony about running, maybe the last running related testimony, but just something that God's developed me or used it for my development. I shared earlier this year about how joining football in high school impacted me in a few different ways, and with running, I've already said how I didn't particularly enjoy it. It wasn't a fun experience, but how it did help build in the discipline of waking up early. It did help build in the discipline of discipline. So, just doing things that are habitual, that are uncomfortable, getting comfortable being uncomfortable, as self-help junkies like to say, maybe. And also how it just got me on exercise, like as one of those disciplines. But one thing a little bit more metaphysical, a little bit more in the brain space, other than just the chemicals that bless my brain with post-run, is the reality that it taught me to race myself. I was never pushing a medal. I wasn't going to finish top 3, at a cross-country meet with 100, 200 people running. I'm not going to win. Like, that wasn't me. And so you could just live your whole life depressed, I guess. Like, oh, I'm never going to win. What's the point? Or you could be the ultra competitive type that's like, I'm going to figure out a way to win and hope that no one else is also trying to do that. But what most people do is they race against themselves. That's what you're kind of taught to fixate on, is your own mile splits, your own progress. How much are you going to drop your 5K time by, or your mile time by, or your 2-mile time, or whatever, your stride length. Like, there's no point in racing other people if you already know they're faster than you or slower than you. It's not like golf or basketball or some sport where even a really good player could have an off day, and a really bad player could just have, not really bad, but a less dominant player could just hit his best shots and the underdog could win. Like, that's not going to happen in cross country. You're not just going to get a minute per mile faster overnight because you just thought about it. And the person that's a minute faster than you isn't going to just like be slow. Not at that significant of a margin. And so you're racing against yourself. And that was a reality for me when I ran cross country. But that mindset is so valuable and has stayed with me through my whole life. And it probably was with me before cross country as well. Just being more independent in a personality perspective, and also a survival tactic, having ADHD, that like you just can't try to play someone else's game. You can't try to win using someone else's rules. You have to make your own rule book. You have to make your own game. You have to live your own life. You have to run your own race. And so cross country wasn't necessarily the first time that I was exposed to that tendency, because you have some things that are just true of my personality, but it was the first time to really put it into practice with like significant effort and consistency over time. And so it probably cemented that value deeper in me, more than just my personality leaning in and of itself. And so I just wanted to testify about that, because seriously, guys, if I didn't have that in me, this would be an incredibly difficult life for me to live. Like, just hard, just impossible. I can't play someone else's game. A lot of y'all are good at playing other games, but I'm not. And it's a psychological, the value, it matters that it's deep, because fake it till you make it is fake if you know that it's fake. It's hard to convince yourself of a lie. As it relates to playing your own game, if you're telling yourself you just need to play your own game, but deep down you feel like you should be doing better at the games that other people are playing, like if you're just trying to run your own race as a coping mechanism for your disappointment about losing the race, it's not going to have the same effect, right? It won't be as deep of a breakthrough or as a lifestyle change, whatever you want to call it. But if genuinely in your heart of hearts you believe that what you are supposed to do is play your own game, is run your own race, there's no conflict of interest with your life and other people's lives. You know, like you're not disincentivized towards others' greatness, but actually you're cheering for them just as much as you're cheering for you, because you're all running your own race. And so you can achieve more, and you can be fulfilled more by the things that you achieve, and you can celebrate others more, which is even more significant than the first two, because there's a lot more of others than there are of you, right? There's a lot of people out there, and you want to champion them, you want to be for them, excited for them. So anyways, cross country, it just helped cement that in me. Running my own race, it's not a coping mechanism, it's not a consolation prize, but it is a true and good value. And because I believe that, because that was instilled in me partially through running cross country, I'm just able to enjoy life a lot more, and also take risks that I wouldn't have, or just do things I wouldn't have if I was trying to live by someone else's rules. But because I'm running my own race, I give myself the freedom, and man, it's great to live life out in the wild like that, Anyways, that's all I got for y'all today. Life is worship. God is love.